Hello, today I'm going to walk you through how I'm making these Shinsuke Nakamura Valentine's Day cards because handmade cards I think are real cute and really anybody could do it. So I hope that it encourages you to try. I'm going to show you some of the tools I'll be using. This is a metal ruler. You can use a wooden one if you want, but metal is better. I'm gonna be using an X-Acto knife. I have scissors, which I may or may not use. And then I have these they're a designing sort of shears. You could probably pick them up at Michael's or someplace, or you could just use regular scissors. But I'm gonna use these because I like it to look all torn up and stuff. You'll also need Elmer's rubber cement. This is the only kind that you can use because of the smell. It's very important. I also have this. It's something that you undo stitches out of fabrics, but I'm going to be using it as a boning tool, I think it's called. Maybe it's called a boner. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm going to be using it for. You'll need a design. I'm using my design that I created digitally, and I printed it at Kinko's on cardstock because I like the thickness of the paper. It's just an 11 by 8.5 sheet of cardstock, and also one in a fun color that you're going to use as the background of the card. It's not exactly science, you know. You just kind of paste stuff together. I got this mat, ruler mat. I guess it's for fabric as well. I don't really do a lot of fabric work because I'm really terrible at it. Stitching is impossible for me. Basically, all I'm going to do is go down the center of my design sheet and just to cut it in half. So, like that. Ugh. I probably didn't cut it deep enough, but see, look at that. That's terrible. And this video is off to a bad start. I guess if I felt like it, I could cut it evenly that way, but I don't feel like it. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it with my designer shears here. Am I even on the camera? I can't tell. You want to be careful not to cut into your design. If you're real particular, I suppose you'd want these lines to be even, but I am not particular. I don't care if it's a perfect rectangle or not. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I think that's good. Let me cut another one, just because I like to cut. The whole process of making these cards, it takes time to get it right. I always have to make a couple test runs before I actually get a desired outcome. I usually give the ones that end up looking crappy to my brother because he doesn't deserve the good ones. There. So you get the idea. You would basically do that with your mini sheets of your design, and because that's what's going to go on the front. As you can see, they're not perfect. They're not the right size. These are made by hand. They're not going to be amazing. Let me toss that off to the side there. this is going to be the background of your card, like the red part. So this you want to try to get as straight as possible, but even still, it's really not rocket science. You could, if you wanted cards that fold hamburger style, you would cut it horizontally, but I'm making these flip open because they're different, because they are Valentines of Shinsuke Nakamura, and he is the most different wrestler in the world. There's nobody like him. There will never be anybody like him. Ugh. Be careful you don't cut yourself. I think that instructions with knives and sharp bits, they always tell you to cut away from yourself, but I can't do that. I'm not gifted enough. And I guess with this, I could also measure it and mark on the paper where the middle point is, and then take the boner tool and mark it, but I'm just going to fold it as best I can. Match up the corners there, and come up here, and this is where I'll use this to make it a real sharp fold. That's all this is for. Like, you could probably use a marker or something if you wanted to. Oh, that would work just as well, I imagine. Let's do that. The end product of these cards end up being 4 1/4 width and 5 1/2 inch height. And I do that because I can make, 2 cards out of the color cardstock. You could make bigger cards if you wanted to. You could make smaller cards if you wanted to. But you're going to have to figure out those dimensions by yourself. Now, here's the fun part. The part that I mess up a lot on, and sometimes I get frustrated or get the glue on my fingers. But that's okay, because it's worth it just to smell it. I don't know what the best technique is with this. You kind of want to get it in the corners, but you have to do it kind of fast because this rubber cement dries really fast. Ugh, I'm already getting it everywhere. You have to be careful not to gloop it on. Sometimes the gloop falls off the brush anyway, gets all over everything. But it does smell so good. And then you have to work fast. Like I said, that stuff dries up so fast. I'm all out of breath just from sniffing glue. Yep, I got glue on my fingers. Sometimes when that happens, you get like the dirt from your hand gets onto the card and makes like little dirt balls on your card. That corner isn't completely glued on there, but it's handmade. What do you expect? This isn't Hallmark. You're not paying $7 for this card. It's not going to last forever. Just like Shinsuke's time in New Japan. Things can't last forever. We all grow old, and then we die. Shinsuke's got to get out there. He's got to go places before he dies. He will never die. Alright, so we're going to do the same with this one. Oh, I didn't show you how to cut that. Oh well. You can just figure it out. There we go. Yep. And when you get glue on the front part, I don't know if you can tell, like, it's sticky right there. I'm gonna let it dry, and then later I'll actually be able to just rub it and it comes off. Well, I'll probably wash my hands and then rub it and it'll come off. So really, that's all that I do. Then I have these envelopes that I bought at Michael's that, oh, that one's not right. This one. Hey, it ain't gonna fit in there either. I'll probably have to trim this down. Man. I have other envelopes that these will fit in. I have lots of envelopes. You will not believe. But, yeah, it's really not difficult to make your own card. It will take a lot of time to make 40 of these, though. That's for sure.